Hi everyone, myself Shifaanaz Sheikh. I am the student teacher of KLS Education College Ankola, B.Ed first year student. Today we learn about the 8th standard history lesson Maurya and Kushaanas. In this chapter you learn the first ever empire of India was Mauryan Empire. The Emperor Ashoka's achievement, administration and contribution to art and architecture. The history of Kushaanas, administration and contribution of Kanishka, locating the region of Ashoka's empire on the map. The Mauryan Empire. India's first empire was Mauryan Empire. They ruled from Magadha. Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusara and Ashoka are the important kings of this dynasty. This dynasty was established by Chandragupta Maurya. The name of Chandragupta Maurya was made it internal by recording it. Reference sources: Megasthenes of Indica. Megasthenes was in India as the ambassador of Greek in the court of Chandragupta Maurya. He has recorded his experience at Patliputra, Mauryan Empire in his book Indica. The Indica reveals the city administration, social and religious life of Mauryan period. Kautilya's Arthashastra. Arthashastra is written by the teacher and the Prime Minister of Chandragupta Maurya, Kautilya. He is also known as a Chanakya or Vishnugupta. Arthashastra is written in a Sanskrit. By reading this book, one can understand the politics, economic and administration and social and other aspects of Mauryan period. Mudraksha. This is a Sanskrit play written by Vishakadatta. It narrates the process of Chandragupta Maurya being brought into the power of Kautilya. Deepavamsha and Mahavamsha, these two are Sri Lanka literary works. They narrate the efforts of Ashoka to spread Buddhism in Sri Lanka. Inscriptions of Ashoka. Inscriptions are the authentic source of information on Ashoka. They tell about the boundaries of Ashoka's empire, his effort to spread the Dhamma and details of Kalinga battle. Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya period is 298 to 321 BCE. Chandragupta Maurya founded the Mauryan Empire. Chandragupta came to a power by dethroning the last king of Nanda dynasty under the guidance of his teacher Kautilya at the age of 25. By this time, the northwest of India was ruled by the representative of Alexander Seleucus. In 305 BCE, Chandragupta Maurya declared war against him and the battle ended in the agreement. According to it, Seleucus handed over 4 territories that includes today's Afghanistan and Balochistan to Chandragupta Maurya. The great emperor Ashoka, his period is 232 to 273. The most popular emperor of India, Ashoka, is from this dynasty. He was the son of Bindusara. He was the governor of Ujjaini and Takshashila during his father's reign. He suppressed and uprising the Takshashila. After the death of his father, Bindusara, it is said that Ashoka had to kill all his 99 brothers to assume the throne. As per Buddhist tradition, probably there was an internal war among the brothers for about 4 years. It assumed that he ascended throne in year 269 BCE. He waged a war against Kalinga 8 years later. This was the only war waged by him after becoming a king. War. Ashoka declared war on the Kalingas who refused to accept the rule of Mauryan Empire in 2061 BC. The third rock inscription of Ashoka provided more information on this battle. According to it, Ashoka declared war on Kalinga 8 years after assuming the throne. In this battle of lakh of 50,000 prisoners were taken, 1 lakh of people died, many more become refugees. Though Kalinga was owned by Ashoka, he was disturbed by the death and the pain of the battle, and he decided not to wage war thereafter. He considered victory of religious in the battle than the victory of the battlefield. He went into a represent on the seeing the devastation. And Ashoka. Ashoka accepted Buddhism after the Kalinga battle. He made donation to a Buddhist monasteries and viharas. He prohibited the killing of animals and birds in his kingdom. Ashoka declared that all his citizens are his children. He declared that all should be loyal to their parents and respect their elders and gurus. He wanted people show compassion to a poor and slaves too. Ashoka's inscriptions. Ashoka is called as the father of inscriptions. Till today, his inscriptions are the first inscription to be read in 1837 century. A British officer, James Prince, depressed Ashoka's inscription for the first time in all the inscriptions. Instead of his name, his title, Divam Priya or Priyadarshini, were used. Charles Bedon, a British engineer, read an inscription at Maski of Raichur in 1950 century. In these inscriptions, Devana Priya, Priyadarshini, Ashoka refers appears for the first time. Based on his, it was decided that Devanam Priya and Priyadarshini are the same. Later, it others inscription the name Ashoka appears. Economic system during Mauryan period. They are evidence which prove that the lake and canal system of irrigation was good during Mauryan period. Pashugupta, a governor during the region of Chandragupta Maurya, has built Sudarshan Sarovar, a dam in Junagadh of Gujarat. An officer named Tushapa during the region of Ashoka built the canal system for his dam. Megasthenes, he has also recorded the existence of irrigation canals. The government was managing the agriculture sector. Prisoners of war and slaves were engaged in agriculture activities. Land tax was the main source of revenue of the state. A farmer was accepted to pay 1/4 of his income a tax of his state. Officer named Samaharta and Sandhata were in charge of the tax collection and were also the custodians of the royal treasury. The technology of production materials had evolved during the region Mauryas. As per result, urban-based artifacts production and their marketing found place in the economic of Mauryan along with the agriculture. They were major roads connecting the different parts of the empire from the Patliputra. Social system. The social system was evolving out of the Varna-based caste system of Vedic period. During this system, people born in higher Varna could migrate the another Varna and gain better social acceptance and respect. There were few such opinions of this mobility. Brahman and Kshatriya could in charge their status, though the society was divided into 4 Varnas, namely Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vishaka and Shudra. Several castes were also present. Megasthenes recorded the presence of 7 castes in Mauryan society in his Indica. The Buddhist source also confirmed the existence of caste. Mauryan Administration. Mauryan's empire had centralized administration system. The power was concentrated in the hands of the king. Hence, a huge number of officials, unseen kings, were appointed to run administration. There was a strong espionage network. Minister, priest, prince, and generals were the higher subordinate of the king. The emperor was divided into provinces. These were ruled by either prince or the relatives of the king family. Takshashila, Ujjaini, Dhauli, Swarnagiri, and Jinjar were the regional administration centers. Officials like Rujaka, justice officer, Yukta, information recorder officer, and others were there. The administration of Patliputra was done by a group of 6 committees consisting of third officials. Mauryan Art and Architecture. The contribution of Mauryas to art and architecture is of great significance. Megasthenes Indica recorded the grandeur of Maurya's place in Patliputra. The wooden ruins of the place and the fort around the palace in the Patliputra have been found during the excavations. During the period of Ashoka, many suptas were built and pillars were erected. Among all the suptas, they are found the suptas of Sanchi is the biggest. Around 30 pillars have been found and all of them are polished and made smooth. The image of lion or ox are sculptured on the pillars. Our national emblem of the four-head lion is taken from the Ashokan pillar of Saranatha. Apart from this, Ashoka built 3 rock-cut caves at Barbar Hills. His son Dashratha built 3 more rock-cut caves at Narguni Hills. Their caves are also important creations of Mauryan period. Kushan Empire. After the Greeks, it has been the Kushan who have influenced the Indian history and culture. They gave special importance to the spread of Buddhism. The Mahayana sect received greater encouragement under their patronage. Gandhara sculpture flourished during their time. An important dynasty after the Maurya is that of Kushans. They were basically from a nomadic tribe which had migrated to India from Central Asia. They were a progeny of Yuchi. The Sakas and the Parthianas were other foreign communities. They had settled in the northwestern part of India. The Kushans defeated the Shakas and the Parthianas and settled in the Gandhara region. The founder of this dynasty was Kujalakadapishas. Vimakadapishas and Kanishka are the noteworthy kings of the dynasty. The Yuchis were basically tribals. The Yuchis faction became united under the leadership of Kujala Kadapishas. He crossed the Hindu Kush range and settled in Kabul and Kashmir. During the time of Vima Kadapishas, gold coins were brought out into circulation. From then onwards, the Kushan minted many gold and copper coins. Kanishka came after Vimakadapishas. During his reign, the Kushans dynasty expanded greatly. He established his rule in 78th century and heralded a new era. This era, called as the Shaka era. Kanishka's rule had spread up to Sanchi in the south and Banaras in the east. His kingdom, which included Central Asia, was a vast empire. Prushnapura was his capital. Mathura was another significant town of his time. Due to the patronage given by Kanishka, Buddhists could process much more than before. We get to see many Buddhist scholars like Ashwagosha, Vamisutra, Sangakasha and others during his time. The 4th Buddhist conference was held at Kashmir under the leadership of Kanishka. Like Kanishka, even Kanishka sent mission to Central Asia and China to spread Buddhism. During his reign, art and architecture got encouragement. Thank you.